Hello and welcome to Language Ladder. In this video, we'll try and make sense of the poem Dust of Snow written by Robert Frost. But before we do that, I want you to stop and think about something. Have you ever had a bad day? A day when everything went wrong, so much so that you wanted to remove that day from your life. And then something unexpected happened. Maybe your pet did something really funny, or you got a phone call from your best friend, or your mom prepared your favorite dish, something that cheered you up or made you feel a little better. So in this poem, the poet Robert Frost tries to explore a similar experience. So let's look at the poem and find out how.
So let's look at the title first. The title has an unusual use of the word dust. Dust is usually associated with grime or dirt. But here, dust is associated with something soft, something as beautiful as snow. So what do you think the phrase dust of snow mean here? Perhaps it means very fine or small particles of snow. So let's read the poem and find out what this dust of snow is doing here. The way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree. What's hemlock tree? It belongs to the family of pine trees, as you can make out from the picture. So they are tall, conical in shape, and a particular variety of hemlock is known to be poisonous, and they are commonly known as poison hemlock. So the dust of snow from a hemlock tree has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. So that was a really short poem. Did you notice it was just 8 lines? And interesting to note that there is only one punctuation mark, that is, a full stop at the end. So the poet has used the poetic device enjambment here. Now what is enjambment? Enjambment is when one line runs into another without a punctuation mark such as comma or full stop. So you will notice that there is no comma anywhere in the poem, and there is only one full stop, and that too at the end of the poem. So why do you think the poet has used enjambment here? Perhaps the poet wants to help readers continue thinking about one idea that runs through the poem. So let's look at these lines a little more closely. The way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree. So from these lines we understand that the speaker is standing under a hemlock tree, and it is winter and there is snow on the tree. And while the speaker stands there, a crow, probably sitting on a branch of the tree, moves. And this movement sends down a dust of snow on the speaker. So we don't know how the bird moves. So the movement has not been specified in the poem. Possibly the crow was shivering as it was too cold, or might have just landed on a branch of the tree. The poem doesn't tell us that. All it tells us is the way the crow moves, that is, this movement of the crow unexpectedly showered the dust of snow on the speaker. And this incident did something to him. And what was that? We'll find that out in the second stanza. Now let's read the second stanza. Has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. So what does the word rued mean here? It means to feel sorry about an event and wish it had not happened. Look at the last 2 lines of this stanza first. These lines suggest that the speaker was having a terrible day when he says, of a day I had rued. And this incident cheered him up or uplifted his mood. So he mentions a change of mood from unhappy to happy. So, to sum up the entire poem here, the speaker was having a bad day. However, this unexpected shower of dust, of snow on him, caused by the movement of the crow sitting on a branch of hemlock tree, cheered him up. There are a few interesting things to notice here. Look at these highlighted words in red. Do you know what these are usually associated with? Crow, dust, and hemlock tree are known to have negative associations. Crow is often seen as a bad omen or a symbol of death, despair, or fear, while hemlock tree is known to be poisonous. And dust is usually seen as a cause of annoyance, as nobody is happy to see dust. So this unusual association of things here create a sense of irony in the poem. Crow, which is usually associated with doom and fear, here is the cause of a positive change in the poem. Hemlock tree is known for being poisonous, but here it is involved in uplifting the mood of the speaker. And dust usually is the cause of annoyance, but here we are talking about dust of snow as something beautiful, something that is welcomed by the speaker. So perhaps the poet is trying to give us a message. He could be trying to tell us that something as ordinary as a dust of snow falling unexpectedly on someone can make them happy if they take notice of it. That is, even small things can bring joy in our lives. He also reminds us of the healing power of nature. So now let's look at the poetic devices. You will notice that the words highlighted in the same color here rhyme with each other. So crow rhymes with snow and me rhymes with tree. So if we label words ending with the same sound, we can determine the rhyme scheme of the poem, which is A, B, A, B. Next is enjambment. We've already discussed enjambment at length in the beginning of our discussion. And if you look at the highlighted letters carefully, you can guess the poetic device used here. So has and heart start with the same sound ha, and in the third line, saved and some start with the same sound sa. So here we have the poetic device alliteration. So now it's time to take a quick look at the important points of the poem. So we start with the speaker was having a bad day. He goes out and happens to stand under a hemlock tree. The crow sitting on branch of the tree moves, and this movement sends down a dust of snow on the speaker standing under the tree. And this leads to a change of mood. So now the speaker becomes happy from unhappy.
Thank you. If you found our video useful, then don't forget to like it and subscribe to our channel to get more updates. In case you have any doubts related to the poem, you can drop them in the comments below.